So today, this is more of a gentle thing by our standards. And I would say it actually generally is. And if there's anything that you're not up for, then you just skip it, right? So this is very much what I would put in the recovery, release, relax, bring it all back down, and probably quite a nice accompaniment to some of the stronger stuff for people who like to build muscle, but also still like that more gentle, meditative space time. Stretching us. So today's session is not so much about active stretching or even productive stretching. It's really about releasing tension and relaxing your nervous system. The kit I've got around me, I've got a couple of blocks, like yoga blocks. I've got some of those flatter, spongier blocks, like the Pilates ones. We probably won't use those, but they're there. A strap and a band, mostly because you can choose between a strap and a band. You might not want to use any of those, but the option is there if you do. I'm sitting on my meditation cushion, but you can sit on a block if you want to. If you do it the traditional Move with Cam studio way, you're going to make sure that all your equipment is just slightly too far away from your hand to comfortably reach. So you have to change whatever it is that you're doing that feels really nice in order to get your kit. So try and make it as inconvenient as humanly possible for yourself. We're going to start with just some breathing. So depending on what kind of mood you're in, you can be seated or lying down, or you could even be standing, but I think supported is better. So if you're seated, make sure you're sitting on a cushion. If you're lying down, which actually you probably feel quite nice, make sure that you're comfortable. You can lie down in Shavasana. You can have your legs stretched out as long as your back is relaxed, or you can have your feet flat on the floor in any restful position. So make sure, mainly make sure if you're sitting on the floor, you are not slouched. I mean, I sound like a broken record, but sitting with your stomach all squashed up and your spine rounded and your shoulders hunched, that's not the name of the game. So you can sit against a wall. Most people need to elevate their hips so that the spine is nice and tall without getting rigid, right? So you want to be able to breathe freely. Tall and supported seated position. So let's go. I'm going to ask you to take as much time as you need to get into your comfortable position. And once you're in it, you're going to allow yourself permission to fidget and change that position as much as you need to in order to stay relaxed, in order to stay comfortable and not accumulate any aches or pains. Once you've managed to accomplish that, take a little bit of time, and we're going to scan through the back of your body. So just trail your attention down the back of your head, your neck. Check that your neck feels comfortable. Make sure that there's length back there, no squashed feelings, no tension. And if you find any tension, then maybe you want to pause this and go grab yourself a cushion for under your head. As long as your neck feels long, all the way from the top of the spine and from the top of the chest. Notice. And take your attention towards your shoulders. Now, depending on the position of your arms, your shoulders may also be a little tense. So you want, at minimum, your arms to be down by your sides, away from your body, with the palms facing upwards. A lot of people prefer full T-shaped arms with the palms up, or goalpost arms or cactus arms with the palms up. But for most people, if you take your arms too high, your shoulders are going to shrug up. And if you turn your palms completely down, your shoulders are going to shrug forward. So just find a position where the palms are lightly upwards. They don't have to be totally upwards. And the armpits are just a tiny bit open, released. And from there, just trail your attention smoothly down to your lower back. Check there's no pinching or discomfort in your lower back? If there is, change your leg position. If your legs are stretched out, you need to bend them. You can put a bolster under your knees if you want to stay stretched with the knees a little bent. You can bend the knees fully and let your knees rest against each other for constructive rest pose or radical rest pose. Take a little time, carry on that journey. For the next minute or so, I'm just going to give you space to scan up and down the back of the body, become aware of the feeling of the back of the body resting against the floor, and allow the back of your body to become heavier and heavier and let the ground come up to meet you. So there's a real sense of turning into a puddle, letting yourself become a puddle on the floor and just spread out. So take your time. I'm going to just be quiet for around a minute for you to do that. Gently start to bring your hands towards your belly if you would like to. Fingertips touching. If you would prefer to keep your hands on the floor, that's absolutely fine. But if you've got your hands on your belly, fingertips touching, they're going to be a reference point for deepening your breath. So as you breathe in, look for a feeling of expanding through the whole of your abdomen, lungs, ribs, belly, all expanding. And as you exhale, just relax and let your whole body let go. You can exhale through your mouth if you want to. Take a few rounds of these long breaths. If you find that there's tension in that breath, if it feels clenched or slightly anxious or just tense, try doing deep breath in and a big sigh out. Become heavy. So you have the option to start with that if you want to. Deep breath in, big, heavy sigh out. So you can start there if you're struggling to control the breath. Then once you get the hang of it, you can go back to the smooth breathing style. Deep breath in to expand through the whole of your abdomen. Long, relaxing breath out to release and let go. Breathe in the way that's most comfortable for you, as in through the nose, through the mouth. If you're struggling to release your tension, sometimes it just does really help to exhale through your mouth, inhale through your nose. But it's not required to do the kind of breathing that feels freest and most available for you. If you've got your hands on your belly, you can reference that as a breathing cue. So as you breathe in, you want to feel the fingertips separate from each other. And as you breathe out, you want your fingertips to softly come back together. And whether you are lying down or seated, wherever you are, add a little movement to this breath. So you want to keep this breath as it is, long and slow and restful, working through the whole of the diaphragm, the whole of the abdomen, from shoulders down to the tops of your hips, using the diaphragm as part of your breath. And you're going to exhale to turn your head to one side over one shoulder. Inhale through center and exhale over to the other side. And inhale through center. Exhale. And then over to the left. So you just keep your neck movements going. Working with your breath, looking for some very gentle and soft release through your neck. Good. I'm going to move into a little bit more movement. So if you want to have more time to breathe, to practice mindfulness or meditation or body scan or whatever you want, now's the time to pause. Remember what I said about having your strap slightly too far away from your hand? Now's the time, if you're going to use your strap, that's the time to grab it. So come to a reclining position if you're not in it already. I'm going to make sure now to start with that both your knees are bent. So we're going gently into all of these postures because you need time to check in with your body and see what feels good. Your objective in this session is to only work in a way that feels good for your own body. It is not to try and progress or advance your strength exercise. This is about calming your nervous system and being very soothing. So you're looking for pleasant sensations, even if they are deep. You want to make sure there's no tension. So we're going to start by pulling your right knee in towards your chest, but not actually into your chest, just a little bit out to the side, not as far as your rib cage or into your armpit. This is not happy baby. It's a wide leg knee to chest movement. Tuck your right knee in. If you need to, you can use your strap around the knee if your shoulders are feeling super tight, and just keep your shoulders on the floor. And then if this feels all right, you're gently going to start to draw your spine back to neutral. So if your pelvis rolled up, gently start to draw your pelvis back to neutral. And if this still feels all right, you can gently lengthen your left leg along the mat and set it down. We're not hovering. This is not a core exercise. This is just a stretch for your leg. From here, right foot's going to move into some slow, intentional ankle circles. Move as far into that joint as you can go. Don't forget to breathe. We're not doing loads on anything. So if you want more of anything, then you're just going to pause and carry on with the movement, and then unpause, resume play when you're ready. This is where it's useful to have a cordless keyboard because you can just have it nearby and press pause. Press the space bar. So if you haven't switched directions, you need to do the second direction, right or left. And we're just going to ever so gently bring this into a hamstring stretch. So rebend your left leg. You can always stretch it out again if you want to. If it's already bent, then you're halfway there already. Weave your hands or grab your strap. Weave your hands around the back of your thigh, or take the strap around the ball of the foot, not the arch of your foot. And this is your right leg. I'm going to work with these lovely long diaphragmatic breaths that you've cultivated. Left arm out to the side, either the strap in your hand or one or both hands around the back of your right thigh. Take a deep breath in as you take your leg forward, away from your body, or away from your face, I should say. And then as you exhale, bring that leg back in. I always recommend that people close their eyes when they do this stretch, because it is not about the way your leg moves or how far it travels. This is purely about the feeling, the sensation at the back of your leg. So we're looking for a nice feeling of length, traveling up the back of the leg in the belly of the muscle. So the biggest, thickest, strongest part of muscle between the joints. So thigh is going to be between the hip and the knee, somewhere in the middle where the muscle is at its biggest and its meatiest. And calf, potentially, depending on how you train the rest of the week, calf is going to be between the knee and the ankle. And you might get a little stretch for your ankle as well. Hamstrings at the back of the thighs and the calf muscles, you're looking at gastrocnemius, soleus. This probably won't give you a soleus stretch, but it might give you a gastrocnemius stretch. Good. If you want to hold, now's the time. Draw that leg in. Make sure, if you want to, you can try and take your pelvis back to neutral. Just make sure there's no pain. There's no breathlessness. There's no shaking in your leg. If you tend towards hypermobility, then you're going to need to keep a bend in your knee. Equally, if your hamstrings or your legs feel very tight, you'll need to keep a bend in your knee. If you're here and it's feeling good and you're all set up and you're holding your stretch, you then do have the option to lengthen out your left leg, but only if it's still a good stretch. So there's no rush for anything here. Breathe. Stay with the breath wherever you are. Check that you haven't gripped your jaw, tensed up your face, or tensed up your shoulders. If you need to stay here longer, please do. When you're ready, we're going to do some circles with this extended leg. Now, for a lot of people, a strap is going to make this a lot easier. So you might want to do that. This right leg, we're going to take it round in some big circles, circling around the hip joint. You can rebend your left knee for anchoring. If you do Pilates, if you train Pilates, and in fact, if you've trained Pilates with me, this movement will be an advanced version of a very familiar Pilates movement called single leg circle. That's not what we're doing. So you can let your hips, we're not holding the core, we're not worrying about the position of your left hip or the pelvis. I just want you to move your leg around and get that nice range and stretch. Of course, you can do Pilates if you want to, but that's not what this session is about, right? So if your natural way is, it feels nicer for me to control this circle, make it smaller and engage lightly through my center, then absolutely do it. But that's not what we're doing here. When you're ready, you're going to circle your leg all the way around and up and over your other leg, which is still bent. Remember, cross the legs fully. And we're going to take both of these knees over to the right. So gently take the legs to the right. Turn your gaze to the left and make sure your shoulders remain on the floor and start to have a few deep breaths. You can tighten up this stretch if you need to by bringing your knees up. You can loosen it by unraveling them or taking them down a little further. I actually find that right in the middle, I get a really awesome stretch for not just down my lower interior obliques around the back, but also the back of my hip feels very nice. So rather than going up my back, I'm traveling down my back. Normally that's where tension is. But you know, you can make adjustments to your twists as you need them to be. Fabulous. I kind of want to say I could lie here all day because it's a fantastic stretch, but we all know that I couldn't because I'm too much of a fidget, and also we have things to do. So you can stay here longer if you want to. Otherwise, keep your legs crossed and slowly raise them back up to center. And then start to, once you're squared off, slide your legs down while they're still crossed. Slide them down the mat, lengthen them out so that your right ankle is over your left. Arms go up and overhead. Wind your left fingers around your right wrist and then wiggle your body to the top left corner of your mat, and then wiggle your legs if you wish to the bottom left corner. Another broken record moment. This is a banana stretch. Bananas don't have corners usually, so we're not looking for a tight compression on the short side of your body. So what we're looking for is a lot of length, the feeling of lengthening towards the wall behind you and towards the wall in front of you, creating a really long line down both sides of the body. Only it's the right side that will have a lot of sensation. It should feel really nice. The short side of your body, if that aches, then your muscles have cramped and you've gone way too far and you've gone sideways instead of long ways. So have another breath here, explore this, do more of it if you need to. And then when you're ready, we're going to shuffle it back to center. Take your arms back to their start position, arms wide. Make sure your straps nearby. Unravel your feet. Bring your, either lengthen out your legs or bring your feet and knees to the floor. Feet to the floor with the knees bent. Bring your spine to neutral and just check in with your body. Notice how it feels. How is the breath flowing? How has anything changed, if it's changed? We're not looking for change. We're hoping for it, but we're just doing something nice for our bodies. The right side of your body, at the very least, should feel significantly different from your left. Not always easy to identify what that difference is. Some people are amazing at it, but in this case, you just need to bring your awareness to that shift, if there is one. And when you're ready, we're going to do the other side. So let's squeeze the left knee in towards the chest, but sort of a little bit out, a little bit in a wider position. So not full happy baby position, but just, you know, so that you don't knee yourself in the boob, basically. When you're ready, pull your knee in. And if you want to, then you can stretch out your right leg, or you can just leave that right leg bent for more gentleness. Keep your pelvis neutral. So if the arch in your lower back has gone really high or very flat, then just rebend that right leg. Nice big ankle circles on your left foot. Really find the edges of that ankle mobility. And if you go too fast and just waggle the leg around, you're not going to get much out of this. So I want you to slow it down and really pull those toes around into as big a circle as you can. Circling your ankle is for your calves as well as your ankles and your feet. So when you're ready, we're going to switch directions. If you've got your hands bound around your shin, you'll be able to feel the different muscles work. If you've got your hand bound around the back of your thigh, probably not so much. Good. You should feel good. Let's move towards the hamstring stretch. You can weave your hands behind your thigh or grab your strap and lasso your foot around the ball of the foot, pressing the heel up and the toes back. And or if you're feeling super flexy and you've got long enough arm, you can hold on to your big toe and hold it. But we're going to do a little bit of dynamic stretching first. So take a breath in as you lengthen your leg away. And on the exhale, you're bringing your leg back towards your face. I don't recommend doing this bit without a strap because it'll just be very tiring because you will be using your leg as weight for your core. You'll be using your thigh and your hip a lot. Whereas if you use the strap, you can do this quite passively and it should release tension. Not a productive stretch. It will feel really good. It will release immediate tension and it will maintain your current level of flexibility, but it won't produce any new results in the long run. unless you carry on doing it. So you won't notice any noticeable changes in your hamstrings over time with these kind of stretches. They're just good to do. And they feel nice. So just because they're not productive stretches, it doesn't mean that they're not good. They're very amazing at releasing stress. You'll probably find that they take away some of that cortisol and adrenaline, calm everything down. And as a result, a little bit more blood circulation, a little bit more movement in your fascia, a little bit more oxygen. You'll find that that's useful. That's productive in itself as a reset. And those kind of resets have long-term effects on your overall well-being. It's just not going to affect how bendy your legs are. When you're ready, you can hold your leg in at a comfortable position where you're getting that nice stretch in the belly of the muscle, as I just described earlier. Try and maybe make sure that your pelvis is neutral. And if you want to at this stage, you can lengthen out your other leg only if you can still get the decent hamstring stretch back here. So as I say, these are maintenance stretches. They're not productive particularly. They release stress. So if you want to make your flexibility increase, then you need to build muscle in the stretch. So those stretches are much more demanding. They require energy and presence. It's not what we're doing here. You usually need to apply extra weight. A lot of people have to apply a little extra weight as they get better at it. It's more of a strength-based endeavor for long-term sustainable changes in your flexibility. So this is not where you look for that, right? This is where you work with your body as it is today. Right, when you're ready, circles. So you can call it single leg circle if you want, if that's what you're doing. Otherwise, I recommend you rebend your right leg. Technically, it will be a lot easier if you lasso your left leg and then pull that leg around in circles. And we just want it to feel nice. If you would rather keep your right leg lengthened, that's fine. But yeah, just circle your leg around. Think about the thigh bone circling around in your hip joint. Now, because of many, many years of teaching and practicing advanced Pilates, my default mode is to keep my right hip down. But if you're doing this right now, I want you to be free with it, because you're not doing this session because you wanted to do advanced Pilates. I mean, I don't know who chooses to do advanced Pilates, to be honest with you. Someone who needs the core strength for a particular reason, such as me, such as everyone I work with. But, you know, you don't come to a gentle stretch yoga session to have random Pilates thrown at you, I guess, unless you're one of my clients. So yeah, just enjoy these circles. And the next time you circle across your body, loop one leg over the other. So the left thigh goes over the right, thighs are fully touching, arms go out wide, and then lower both sets of knees over to the left. So it's probably the opposite direction that you're used to going to when you do this stretch. It's a different twist. This is not, you can do this twist in either direction, but it's not the one that you're probably thinking of. And then breathe. Make any adjustments you need to your twist. You can pull your knees up higher, you can take them further, you can unravel them. Allow your body to soften towards the ground. Deep breath in, long breath out, and melt. Feel like a puddle if you can. I can't feel like a puddle unless having a really, really sound bit of stretch along the interior obliques and around the sides of the hips is a puddly thing to do. Hip flexors, extensors probably actually, hip extensors. Both hip extensors and flexors. And a really nice little stretch. You'll feel your stretch wherever you feel it. People often ask me, where should I be feeling this? And there's no should. I can tell you what the intention of particular exercises are, but sensation is not something that can be dictated. Some drills are just much more predictable than others in terms of where people feel them. Let's have one more breath. Lush. Bring your knees back to center. Keep your legs crossed. You can be there longer if you need to. Press pause. Lengthen out your legs. Second side banana stretch. Left ankle over right, left wrist in right hand. Remember, length is what we're looking for. It's not a banana bend. It's a banana stretch. So lengthen to the top right corner of your mat with your arms. Lengthen maybe to the bottom right corner of your mat with your legs. And look for space, probably from the left wrist all the way down to the left ankle. Space on the other side too, but less so. The other side should feel neutral. Right side is neutral, left side is extended. If you do a lot of strength training, then you will feel it. You'll feel it from the ankle all the way down to the, all the way up to the wrist. Unless, of course, you're hypermobile and you've just plopped yourself into your joints, which is possible. Also, if you don't tend to do a lot of strength training, it might just feel like quite a neutral stretch, more like just a shape that you make, and that's pretty normal too. But breathe into it, see what's there for you. When you're ready, we're going to bring this back to center and just take a moment to reset as you did before. Take a moment, notice how you feel. I'm rebending my knees here. I'm just going to do a little rock from side to side, see how that feels. Lovely stuff. Okay, we're going to pick this up a little bit. So I'm going to make your way to a seat, ideally kneeling. So let's rock over to the side. I mean, you can rock forward if you want to, but if you're tired, then it's probably more energy than you want to expend. And for these exercises, I like to work from a kneeling position. You don't have to, but wherever you are, you need to be tall in your spine and not slouching as usual. So just take a moment, grow tall through the crown of your head, do a few gentle shoulder rolls, nothing too intense. Good. And let's go back the other way. Lovely. I'm going to stretch the shoulders a bit. So bring your arms forward with the palms together, right in front of your chest, extended. Gaze forward. Notice how your chest is closed and your shoulder blades have moved away from each other around your back a little bit. Shoulders stay down. If you want to, you can draw your belly in and tuck your tailbone like this is cat pose. When you're ready, take your elbows wide, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your chest a little, lift your chin a little, and pull your tailbone back like cow pose. Then scoop and round forward. So we're going to do a few of these. Your spine is doing your cat-cow movements, and your shoulders are retracting when your elbows are back, and your shoulder blades are protracting when your arms are forward. Keep it going, work with the breath, and you can make this very intense and very strong, or you can keep it very gentle. So go where you need to be on this one. Let's do two more. I'm going to add on to this. So if you need to rest after this, that's completely fine. Good. Let's bring this back up. You're going to take your arms up towards the ceiling with the palms forward. As I say, if you need to shake out and rest, go for it. I'm just going to draw my core in because I want to not slouch. You're going to exhale to bring your hands down, elbows down, push your shoulder blades down like you're trying to shove them into your back pockets. Keep your gaze just slightly lifted. And then inhale, reach up. Shoulder blades are drawing up your back, but the tops of your shoulders want to stay away from your ears, and then pull down. I'm going to do 3 more of these. So we're looking at about 5. You can see how wonky my shoulders are. I've got 2 strong shoulders. One is bendier than the other. One is really well aligned and the other one tends to drop out of alignment. It's hard work. It's really, really hard work doing everything that involves 2 shoulders, which is basically everything. All of the calisthenics, all of the arm balances, all of the chin-up training. Ugh, everything is so wonky. Grow up nice and tall, and then let's bring fingertips to the floor by your sides. The shoulders should be feeling fairly like they've worked. Right? So we're going to come to all fours. Just warmed up your arms, warmed up your shoulders. Let's come to all fours. We're going to take some cats and cows. Just make them feel nice, right? There's a little bit of heat there in those shoulder exercises if you have muscles in your arms and you use them. Cats and cows. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your tailbone. Exhale round. Make it work for you. As I say, this isn't a strength training exercise. This is not a Pilates exercise today. This is just a stretch out your back, move your spine, breath synchronized movements. Just see what's there for you today, right? And you know all the different ways of approaching this. You can do it standing, you can do it seated. You can't massively do it lying down, but I'm sure you could try. Not super effective. It's not miles off from doing you could do bridges, I suppose. There are ways of doing this sort of thing lying down, but you'd have to break up your upper and lower back. Anyway, wherever you are, we're going to just move this towards downward facing dog. So we're just going to keep hands where they are, knees where they are, tuck your toes, and slowly take your legs up and back and pedal, right? So in the original version of this session, which massive bullshit tech bro company failed to record, it was either them or me, I blame them. There were lots of child's pose breaks, and I want you to take those when you need them. Breaks for child's pose, right? So for the rest of the session, there's just going to be ever so tiny bit more action, not loads. Pedal out your legs enough here in dog that you get a good stretch through your calves. Take it slow. You can wobble your head around. You can be still, whatever you need. And anytime you need to get into a child's pose, go for it. In fact, let's take one. So knees wide, toes together. Slide your arms forward and lengthen. Child's pose can be super passive, very restful. If you don't like child's pose today, if you want to be not compressed in your front or in your hips, then any rest is fine. If you need to make it more active, just keep reaching your arms forward and pulling your hips back. Take your knees wider, 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 and look for that sensation at your joints. The groin muscles, the thigh muscle, the adductor muscles around the inner thighs. You might get something around the glutes and the hips. Definitely potential for something around the arms and armpits. Definitely long along the spine. So, just see. Depends on what your body's doing today. Fantastic. Let's walk these hands back in. Be as long as you want. We're going to bring the knees back in, tuck the toes, and roll into ragdoll. Very, very, very bent knees, so that if possible, you can just drape your upper body over your thighs. It's not required, but if you can. Opposite elbow to opposite hand. And for what you do from here is up to you. You can sway from side to side for more leg stretching. I get leg stretches here. And a little bit of waist movement. Or you can hang out at center and wobble your head and shoulders around. Or you can just be still. Whatever feels good for you. Press through your feet nice and evenly. Fantastic. And we're going to just ever so gently roll or unfold up to standing, whatever suits you. At the top of your standing position, we're going to do a little melting heart sequence. I'm just going to move more central in my mat. Weave your hands together at the top, palms up for swaying palm. Exhale to stretch to the side. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the other side at your own pace. Inhale to center. Exhale, take your arms behind your back, bind them. Weave your shoulders back and down. Lift your heart and exhale, double angle. Fold over your thighs, let your arms maybe float up. Yes, you can use a strap for this.
Have your strap in the palms of your hands and your hands about shoulder distance apart. They might need to be a little wider if your shoulders feel super tight, but the principle is the same. When you're ready, release your hands, and we're just going to circle all the way back up again. And palms together, exhale to the side. Inhale to center. Exhale to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale. Weave your hands together. Inhale, lift your heart. Pull your arms back. Exhale, double angle pose. Float your arms up and over your head. Keep them bound. Ooh, it's a big old stretch. Fold down over your thighs. And here, this folded position, I've seen it called waterfall. I do like it. But with the arms, double angle pose. Sometimes people call this double angle pose only with wide legs. Who knows? When you're ready, untangle yourself. Bring it all the way back up. Reach for the ceiling one last time. Exhale to the side. Inhale to center. Exhale to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale. Take your arms behind your back. Lift your heart. Exhale, double angle pose. Float it down. Fantastic. When you're ready, release your hands, and we're coming to thread the needle. You can be in child's pose or on all fours. The version we did in the non-recorded version was halfway between the two. So you start in child's pose, and then you just keep your hips a little bit higher so that you've got a bit more stretch. So I'm just going to slide my left arm along the mat, slide my right arm under, and my hips are a bit further back than they would be in a traditional thread the needle, and a bit higher up than child's pose thread the needle. So just, settle in here for about 3 to 5 breaths. As I say, these are more to be restful. So if you'd rather be in your child's pose, then, go for it. And of course, if you're wanting to not compress your stomach, then the knees can still be wide. They don't have to be squashed up. Part of a restful practice means giving your body space to move. Fabulous. Let's switch this out. If you want to be longer, please go ahead. This, after that little melting heart trio, this should actually feel like quite a nice counter stretch for that. Although you don't really need counters in a practice like this, but the two together, it's a nice combination. So yeah, I've switched side, right arm long, left arm under. My voice is probably really loud because my face is now very close to my mic. So just breathe. Awesome. If you need longer, please go for it. Otherwise, we're going to untangle here. I'm going to come into a kneeling position, but I'm going to grab my blocks because what I want is to make this a relatively simple movement. But if you're wanting to make it even simpler, it's quite nice to have the blocks there. I have taken out a few of the sequencing parts of this session in this recording. If you wanted those extra downward facing dogs, you can put them in here between the two lunging parts of the sequence. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep this a bit more simple than we did yesterday. So just going to bring the right leg forward. Now, if you work with me, general kneeling lunge, I normally keep it high and very strong, but what I want is full bend, right? So
take this as deep as feels nice for you, going yoga. So right foot is coming forward. My hands are on my blocks because it just feels nice, right? And it helps me stay tall without having to worry about balance. So pad out that back knee if you need to. Pull your chest forward and up. Hips sink down. Chest lifts up. So we're not folded. We're looking for a nice deep stretch. Left thigh, front of the left hip, the hip flexor, but also a bit of a back bend if you want it. It's here for you. So nice and lifted, and how high and how deep you go, it's up to you. If you want, you can take a full crescent moon. It feels a bit tiring. Bit tiring if you're wanting to be chill, which is why the blocks are nice. We're just going to change this up into half split. So pull your hips back, slide your right leg forward, square the hips off. And this is where the blocks come in quite handy because you can have a bit of space. Rather than folding down over your leg, lengthen your chest forward and hinge a little bit and let your blocks carry your hands. You can lower them, lower them, lower them. If you want to go super deep, you can come down on the inside of your leg or over the top of your leg, but take the stretch and enjoy it. It's another hamstring stretch, right? If your knees don't like this, you can do pyramid or extended pyramid instead. Extended pyramid is easy from here. I say easy. It's a big stretch. But you can always hop the back foot in. So you don't have to have your knees down for any of these. You can have the back knee lifted for your lunge. I'll do that next. So we're going to switch legs. And if you want that downward facing dog, now is a good time because you can step yourself back. You can have your hands on the floor or on your flattened blocks, whatever you want. Have a downward facing dog, pedal or stretch or side bend or wild thing or scorpion leg or three-legged dog or whatever variation of dog you want. Twisted dog. Yeah, there's plenty of different variations of dog you can play with. Forearm. And we're going to end up in a lunge with the left foot forward. So for the sake of simplicity, knees down, left foot forward. If you're starting with your knee bent, see how it feels. Use your block, sink your hips down, chest forward and up. Front knee is over front ankle. So this is not a split squat. This is a lunge. And we just want those legs nice and aligned and stable. If you're not liking any of this on your knees, use your blocks and just pick up the back knee, push back, push back, push back. It's much more tiring, but you'll still get that stretch. Failing that, you can also be up high, hands on hips, whatever feels good. There's more strength involved. The higher up and the more lifted you are, the more work. So be here as long as you need. This feels really good. I did leg day yesterday, so this all feels really nice for me today. When you're ready, either half splits, lengthen out that front leg. You can point the toes up if you want, or extended pyramid pose. You can point your toes up for extended pyramid pose, or a slightly shorter extended pyramid pose, or actual pyramid pose where your right foot is flat to the floor. It might be turned out to the side, but your hips are square. All the same, except for what happens in that back leg. So don't get too stressy about it, right? Be where you need to be. The half splits is a good one. It's a good one to get used to. It took me a long time to get used to this. Don't sit your butt back towards your heel. That's not the exercise. So if your butt is all the way back on your heel and you're just sitting here like this you may have noticed is not a thing. It's nothing unless you're folding deeply over that front leg. And that's a different exercise. So half splits. We're going downward facing dog, bend into your left foot, step it back, downward facing dog. If you want, right? So if you want to be in your dog, be in your dog. We're going to go child's pose cobra for 3 rounds. If you're actually feeling quite active now, you can go downward facing dog to cobra a few times. It's going to be much more energetic, but it is there for you if you want to do it. And if you're feeling super fly, you can put your planks in as well and have 3 vinyasas. But that is not why I did this session. So I'm coming to a wide knee, but parallel child's pose.
so that my belly is free. And I'm going to scoop myself forward into a really nice cobra and then scoop it back. So my aim here is just to do what feels good, right? I'm not trying to get you to work on your press ups, your thoracic extension, your core control, your pelvic floor control, none of that. All I want you to do is feel what's good for you. And that's number 3 for me. So finishing off, if you want a bit of time in child's pose, please go for it. Otherwise, we're moving into half pancake. The left foot is coming in. You can stay in the way that you're seated, or you can swivel yourself around if you need space, which I think you probably will. Left foot comes in, right foot goes out to the side. Turn towards your right toes. Fingertips are going to frame your right leg. You can sit on a cushion if you need to here, but most people are all right here. Keep pushing your left knee down, nice and tall through the crown of your head, and hinge yourself forward towards your right toes on the inside of your leg. Hang out here and keep pushing the left hip back. This is how you get a good stretch here. So give yourself a chance to find that and be there for a while, for a few breaths at least. Then if you want to round after a few breaths, you can, but it's a different stretch. Once you round, you're stretching your spine back. While you're here and lifted, your spine is neutral or potentially extending forward from the chest, which is good for most of us. But you want to keep the left hip down and the left knee down. If this is feeling good, bring your right hand maybe to the inside of your right leg and place it on the floor. And then you're going to take your left hand to your knee and gently rotate your chest around to the left. So often when we do this, we do it as a crossed arm twist. That is not what we're doing. We're keeping it unbound. So right hand stays down on the floor in the direction of the right toes. You can hold on to the right toes if you want to. And then left hand is just coming to the inside of your left knee and you're gently rotating your chest around. Don't shrug your shoulders up. Keep everything nice and lifted. Maybe just gazing with your chin in line with your left shoulder. Feels so nice. These postures get so complicated so quickly, and they do feel good when they're bigger, but sometimes it's nice to keep everything free with less compression squashing you up all the time. Good. We're going to go for Lord of the Fishes. Slide your right leg up and over your left. Wrap your left leg around you. Make sure both feet are on the floor. Left foot is flat to the floor. Draw it in. If you don't like this, you can lengthen your bottom leg forward like shoelace. It works just as well. And of course, you don't have to have your top leg crossed over. You can have it next to you. Right, grow up tall, right hand to the floor. Hug your right leg in. Take a deep breath in as you grow tall and exhale to rotate to the right. I recommend drawing your waist in to support your spine. Never force anything here, because if you're feeling super crunchy, if there's any instability in your back, you don't want to get involved with that, right? You want to be gentle. Breathe. Nearly there. Very nice. Bring it back to center. Let's switch over. We're going to do this sequence on the other side, but we are going to start from the beginning. So normally with this sequence or similar ones, we do the rotation and do the whole thing backwards, but actually we're just going to keep it forward. So, you know, sometimes resting means releasing mental load. All right, left leg extended, toes pointing up, right leg is tucked in, left arm comes down to the inside of the left leg. And you're, oh no, we're going to do the fold first. What am I doing? Fingertips in line with your left leg. Grow nice and tall. Walk your fingertips down the sides of your leg, folding from the hip, lengthening on the inside of your leg. And I'm really bringing my chest forward to try and get that stretch.
pressing my right hip back and right knee back. Use a strap if you need to. I should have said in the first round. It's another one of my special tricks is to not give the pertinent information at the right time. It's all part of the charm. Completely fucking useless charm. Grow tall, extend. See, other teachers do that, but they don't call themselves out. We're all human, guys. We're just human, guys. It's all gone weird. It always goes weird after about 50 minutes, doesn't it? Right. If you're enjoying this stretch, we can add the twist. So left arm on the inside of the left leg somewhere, doesn't matter where. You can hold onto the toes if you can reach them. Peace fingers around the big toe. Right hand to your right knee. Gently draw it down. Take a deep breath in and gently exhale as you rotate your chest to the right. So left hand in line with left leg. It's an open twist. It should feel pretty good. And we've not crossed the arms, so there's no restriction. And we've not taken arms up and overhead, so there's no strain in your shoulders. So you can just draw your shoulder back. You can bind your right hand behind your back, but why not just enjoy keeping it a bit more relaxed? Breathe. Fabulous. Unravel. Bring yourself back in. Lord of Fishes. Last move on this side. No, we've got one more after this, actually. I lied. Lord of the Fishes. Right leg wrapped around you. Left leg up and over. Foot flat to the floor. Hug your right knee in. Remember, you can take shoelace, any variation of shoelace. Left hand behind you. So shoelace is with your bottom leg extended. And then the variations involve whether you have your top leg over the top, crossed over, or next to the bottom leg. Grow tall and then rotate. I mean, if you've been doing yoga with me for the better part of 5 or 10 years, then you probably should be aware of what shoelace is by now. But, you know, we don't always keep information in our heads. I like to store information in Graham's head. Facts, figures, dates. I have a partner to keep that sort of stuff. Lovely. When you're ready, unravel yourself. I really like seated spinal stretch, which is a Pilates move. However, it's quite a complicated Pilates move for some of us. And I think for you it would be. But maybe not, maybe I'm wrong. I haven't met many people who can just get that sweet stretch here. So either use the strap or you can use your hands, whatever is better for you. I'd like you to make sure you're sitting so that your butt isn't sticking out behind you. You need to be a little bit with your tailbone tucked under, which I know is the opposite of what I'd normally ask you for in yoga, but we're doing the lower back stretch, which is different. So this is not Dandasana. It's not yoga seated forward fold. You're now going to round your spine as you walk your hands forward towards your feet. Now, on some days, this is going to be high up and very shallow. You can put your hands on the floor. You can pull your belly back, tuck your butt under you, and just look for the stretch along the back of your pelvis and your lower back. But I find that for me and many of the people I work with, and probably you, flexibility is available, or flexibility isn't available, but the feeling of getting that rounding through the spine is really hard because it does involve some strength and some technique. So if you hold on to the outer edges of your feet or use the band or the strap, now you're going to pull your ribs in, pull against your feet and pull your spine back, and don't overcook it, right?
just until you get that feeling of drawing your butt under you and stretching out. And there's a decent, really nice stretch to be had in your lower back if it's tight. Now, we're not trying to change the shape of your back. All we're doing is working to stretch out some of those tight tissues at the base of your spine, down the sides of your lumbar region, and around the bottom of the pelvis. You could, if you want, imagine that I've just sitting behind you, I've just taken my hands around your ribs and I'm pulling you back, right? And you're pushing back against it. No, don't make me go, right? So go where? I don't know, say school. No, don't make me go. And you're being dragged by your ribs back to the wall behind you, which is where school is. Right, that's the move. Slowly untangle yourself, bring your fingertips to the floor. Bend your knees if you want, you don't have to. And I'm just going to take a little opposite movement to that. So from here, for you, maybe it's just a simple lounge chair stretch. Pull your chest up, pull your tailbone back. If you want, you can pull it up, hips up into reverse tabletop just for a breath or two, and then lower it down. Come to cross legs. Do one circle in each direction. So hands to your knees. Just circle yourself around, forwards and then back the other way. You can do more of these if they feel good. But actually, I'm coming to that perfectly neutral place in my spine. Go up nice and tall just for one last breath. Hands down by your sides. Inhale, circle up. And exhale, hands to heart. I hope that was good. I mean, it was good because I just did it and it felt really nice. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope you have a good rest of day or evening or whatever it is you're up.